All right, welcome everybody. Let's get straight into it. What makes a good workout besides a double espresso and some Kate Bush on the speakers? That's the question. Well, let's start with some anecdotal evidence. If you were to watch a bodybuilder train, and there is a good reason to watch bodybuilders train, you'll notice a theme. Every set is a challenge. They're using the heaviest weights they can handle for as many reps as they can endure every single time. That observation drives at the very core of this video and the next few videos to follow. And what I'm about to talk about is the first thing that I would try and address in a client's training program and in their workouts, because it's so fundamental and so important. The first thing that we need to consider when designing programs for muscle growth is that the focus of the workout is to put as much effort into lifting weights as possible while keeping in mind good form and safety. Everything else in the workout is a distant second. I really think this is the biggest insight you can have, because no matter what routine you're following, what program you're doing, training like you mean it is the differentiator among the big boys. And it's the biggest factor that separates programs that get results and programs that don't. You can get really good results on lots of different programs, and a half decent program done with high effort will beat the pants off a perfect program where the effort is just not really there. But it begs the question, why does effort matter? And what exactly do we mean by the term effort? Well, first off, effort matters because it's the thing that gets the body to adapt. Without a stressor, the body has no reason to change. So let's just look at a couple of examples to hammer this point home. Your skin tans when you're in sunnier than normal environments because the intensity of the sun becomes a stressor to the skin. Your breath hold increases when you hold your breath for as long as you can, because the buildup of CO2 in the bloodstream becomes a stressor to the pulmonary and circulatory system. You become more flexible when you reach into the deepest stretches that you can manage, because the passive tension is a stressor to the sensory cells of the neuromuscular system. Without a sufficient stressor, there is no adaptation. And so, without sufficient effort in the gym, the body will not change. And we want our body to change, right? We want to increase our capacity, the capacity being the size of our muscles. And in order to increase our capacity, we have to constantly apply a stress. And when we constantly apply that stress, over time, our body's capacity increases through the SAID principle, specific adaptations to imposed demands. We apply a specific demand, our body responds with a specific adaptation. So that's question one. Question two is, what do we mean by effort? Well, what does effort make you think of in terms of a workout? What kind of effort do you think counts towards muscle growth? Think of effort as the proximity to a biological capacity. Or put very, very plainly, working as hard as humanly possible. Can you take that biological capacity, that physiological mechanism, whether it's neuromuscular or pulmonary and cardiovascular, can you take that capacity and work as hard as you can to stress that system? That's what we mean by effort. So some general examples that come to mind off the back of that are, the 1600 meter race, where you've got 8 guys or girls literally running as fast as they can, and no part of their system could work harder. Another example is a world record attempt for the clean and jerk. You've got, again, guys and girls lifting the heaviest weights possible with the best biomechanical techniques that they can muster in order to get that weight overhead. These are two examples that kind of really stress what we mean by maximal effort. I want you to think of effort in terms of how close you are to your limits within a workout. We've got stress and it equals response. There was a podcast with Jocko that I listened to a while ago where he was telling a story about military recruits. The training that these guys go through is absolutely brutal, and the whole selection process is about seeing who can push themselves to the limits and who let their psychological discomfort and perceived limits get in the way. Jocko says when a drill sergeant is screaming at 50 cadets to do another push-up, there's really no way to know whether someone is truly at their capacity or just looking like they're at their capacity, right? From the outside, there's really no difference. Real talk now, how often do you think you're hitting your true limits in the gym? Because that will be the differentiator. Everything good that you want to happen from working out, whether it's an extra 10 pounds of muscle, it's bigger arms, it's girls checking you out, it all happens downstream from effort. If big muscles is what we want, we need to go down the super slide. We start with high effort, we pass progressive overload palace, exercise selection street, volume veranda, and we arrive at Muscle Beach. You can't get to Muscle Beach without starting at effort, right? That is what we're talking about. Next up, we'll look at how we can apply this in training, what's up with training to failure, and lots more good stuff. So I'll see you in the next one.